Welcome to Oddball. I'm Charlotte Wilder. That's Amin Elhassan. Amin, you know what time it is. It's time for Trivia Tuesday. And last week, Trivia Tuesday ended with your first loss to Mir and Fader. But since that was basically a special Hakeem Olajuwon edition of Trivia Tuesday, we're going to keep your record clean. We're going to say you've got one win and two ties going into this episode.
No, you don't need to lie.
Loss?
You don't need to lie. I live with it, yeah.
Okay, all right. So you have one loss. We'll see. I'm very excited. Our guest today is the wonderful Izzy Gutierrez, legendary sports reporter, basketball genius. I think this is going to be a real meeting of the minds. Izzy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you said you were really excited. I thought there was another guest before me, but thank you.
Hey, come on.
Avid flag football player. Izzy, I wanted to ask you, I forgot, the guy who called himself the Patrick Mahomes of flag football, who would you call yourself?
Wow. Oh, man. Who's just a middle linebacker who just kind of knows where to be all the time? I'm not really sharp on the NFL's middle linebacker these days, but I'll go old school. I'll say I'm the Zach Thomas.
That's what I was thinking, Zach Thomas, I swear to God.
I have more neck than Zach Thomas does, more length in it anyway, but I'm the Zach Thomas.
Oh, man. All right. I love it. The rules to Trivia Tuesday are simple, folks. We have 6 different questions. Well, as many as we get to. For each of you. And it's, a classic. Whoever gets the most answers right wins. In the event of a tie, a subjective question decided by me for the deciding point will be posed. Are we clear on the rules? And can I talk? And are we ready for trivia?
Yes, we're
clearly confused, but I'm ready.
All right, Izzy, your first question. As of Monday morning, only one team in the NBA has 2 players averaging over 26 points per game. Which team is that?
Did I mention that I spent all weekend playing flag football and not watching NBA basketball? So this has very much a mean win possibilities. But let me think this through. 2 players with 26 points per game or better so far this season.
I have a hint if you need it.
I mean, we're allowing hints. Absolutely. I'll take a hint.
Okay, they're this is they're very famous. They're 2 very famous guys.
Oh, in that case, that narrows it down. The famous ones, Izzy.
Think about it.
The famous ones. I'm just going to go with LeBron and AD.
Oh, see, that also is a good, but no.
That's too famous.
Too famous. You went too famous. Sorry. It's Giannis and Dame, which I didn't know this either. Izzy, I was shocked. Giannis is averaging 31 points and Dame is averaging 26.2 points per game, and yet they are 1 and 5. So
my guess was going. I didn't know either, but my guess was going to be it would be because it's only been 5 games. So anyone who's had a big scoring explosion, they're on
Orlando
that list.
Magic. That was going to be my guess.
I thought about Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. I thought of Tatum and Brown. I thought of LeBron and AD, and like Dame and Giannis were like the back of my head because they just did it the other night. But I'm like, nah, I wouldn't be them. That would be too easy.
Same.
Well, yeah.
I had to scroll down
to
You can't steal.
No.
Or can we? Can we steal?
The Bucks are the last place in the East, though. So my question to you guys is, what about this isn't working, or is it too soon to even care about that, Izzy?
Well, I don't think you can say too soon, right? Because Doc Rivers got a head start last season. He got an offseason with this group. He got, time with Damian Lillard that Adrian Griffin didn't get in the preseason or in the offseason. And so I can't really see that it's too soon. I think you've got that level of talent. You should be able to find a win or 2 here. I think they need to address things. You've got Giannis sort of shadow asking for trades. You've got Damian Lillard, who didn't really want to be there to begin with. So their problems just always are going to feel greater or with more urgency because, it didn't start off very well.
Yeah. All right. Amin, are you ready for your first question?
I'm ready.
Who currently has a better all-time winning percentage, Adrian Griffin or Steve Kerr?
Adrian Griffin was 30-11 when he got let go, which is roughly a 75% win percentage, which over the course of 82 games, 3 quarters, it's about 60 games, 60 wins. Whereas Steve Kerr's had some great seasons, he's also had some tough seasons. So I'm going to say Adrian Griffin has a higher win percentage.
All right. You are correct. It's Adrian Griffin's record is 30-13 as a head coach. He's tied with Billy Cunningham for the 3rd best all-time winning percentage at 69.8. Steve Kerr, though, he's pretty close behind, 65.6. So, Izzy, you mentioned the sort of shadow trades that Giannis has been asking for. And on Oddball yesterday, we weren't sure how overt this is. I mean, did the Bucks end the Giannis era in Milwaukee when they hired Doc Rivers?
No, I mean, look, there's still a lot of time. It's a lot of time for Doc to fix things. It's a lot of time for someone else to fix things if Doc isn't the guy. I thought you were going to ask me, is Golden State the perfect location for Giannis? Because I know they've liked him in the past. Well, everybody likes him, but they've been a little bit more aggressive than maybe some other teams as far as trying to get his attention. So, yeah.
Do you think that's because of a personality match? They both play or want to play with a level of joy that Steve Kerr likes. Do you think it's a basketball match? Because this is going to sound crazy, but I don't know if Giannis's basketball IQ is through the roof. And I don't know if him going to that team and executing that way, I don't know if that's really natural for him. And if they're thinking, hey, we'll just let Giannis beast, and then, then the offense can be the offense. I don't know if that's necessarily a great vibe, right? Like it's almost like having 2 offenses. I don't know. I've been thinking about that potential trade. And as much as I loved it in the All-Star game, I don't know if I really love it as an automatic end of career championship teammate for Steph.
Izzy, where would you like to see Giannis? Like, where do you think he would be the most fun to watch or fit in best?
If he were to leave the Bucks. Him instead of Karl Anthony Towns in New York would have been great.
Still out there, still an option.
Yeah. That's the one that comes to mind mostly. Everybody wants to throw people in there with the Warriors or a star in there with the Warriors because they feel like they want to get Steph one more and see what that looks like.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the answer for me.
All right, Izzy, your second question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Out of every person who has ever been a head coach in the NBA, we're sticking with the coach theme here, who has the highest all-time winning percentage? And I do have a hint here for you, if you need it.
Please.
It's an active coach, and it's probably not someone you would think of.
Joe Mazzulla.
Yes. Which hint gave it away? Someone you wouldn't think of or an active coach?
I don't know. There was something in your voice that made me think you were proud of the answer. So I was like, it's got to be the Celtics coach.
Yeah, sue me. Look, Joe Mazzulla has a 74% winning percentage, which puts him ahead of Phil Jackson for the best record of all time. I have a legitimate question for you guys. I feel like when we talk about Joe Mazzulla, it's always like crazy Joe Mazzulla. He said this, he said that. I haven't heard many people talk about whether, obviously he's doing something right. They won a championship, but I feel like the crazy things he says sort of takes over the conversation of, is this guy a great coach or not? Izzy, start with you.
I think he's just going to say all this stuff and make himself the distraction and keep, the players away from pressure of, repeating and all that stuff. He's just going to say crazy things like, we should fight because other leagues have weapons and they let them fight. And I was like, isn't that the whole point, is you let them fight so they don't use those major weapons against the other people? There's no tools in the NBA. What are you going to do? Throw the ball at somebody really hard? No, you just don't allow fighting. It's silly.
Right. I mean,
he's crazy Joe Mazzulla, man. People try to make him to be this subtle genius, like he's doing this on purpose. Nope. He's just unhinged.
How much was he holding back last season? That's what I want to know, because he definitely was holding back.
He's out of his cage.
Listen,
now,
when he said he hoped the floor tasted like blood when he got his ring. Yeah, I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what we're going to see.
Greatest coach of all time, clearly, based on percentages. So,
right. Boston, what are you going to do? Amin, your second question. Jason Tatum is currently 3rd in the NBA in points per game. Where is he in... Oh, this question is Where
In
is he at
Boston.
DraftKings MVP odds?
Love this question.
DraftKings MVP odds, which of course have updated, right, since opening night. So we're adjusting. So that means we got some risers like Donovan Mitchell. We got some people falling like Anthony Edwards.
You can even say like in what percentage of the.
I don't even know what that means, but I think he's not one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one because they're undefeated and he's playing great. I'm going to say either 2 or 3.
Is that an option?
Pick one. Pick one.
I think he's second.
Oh,
third, right?
Come on.
It's third?
Yeah, he's third. He's
I already
third.
got a point there for being wrong.
I wasn't wrong. I said third.
You were
Four.
sort of wrong. You know what? For time's sake, I'm going to move on to Izzy's third question because we talked about Boston enough with Joe Mazzulla. Over the weekend, Shams reported that which player would make his debut with his new team this week?
Paul George.
Get
Did I need
that?
time to think about that? Did I need
There
to
it
flesh
is.
that out a little
No.
bit? No?
No.
Who wants to be a millionaire? They don't just go out and answer that first easy question.
Yeah, I know.
Bring it
I
out
figure
a
we can
little
get
bit.
to more questions this way, but
Well, what do you think? We're taping this before Monday's game. What do you think that's going to look like?
To be honest, it doesn't really matter what it's going to look like because it's not going to look good come the end of the season. It's like, how many times do we have to do the song and dance of, hey, let's get Joel Embiid right? Something's going to happen, man. And this is not scientific information here. This is just, I don't believe it's going to happen until I see it happen. It doesn't matter which teammate you put next to him. Unless, Maxey becomes this all-NBA first teamer, not going to end well for the Sixers this season.
Damn.
That's one of my favorite answers, which is like, it truly doesn't matter. And that's often the answer for a lot of sports media. And here we are. When we come back, Amin's third question. Welcome back to Oddball. That music still feels like I'm in a video game, amusement park. Yeah, right? We are about halfway through our game of trivia with the wonderful Izzy Gutierrez. It is time for Amin's third question. So, Amin, Paolo Banchero opened the season playing like an MVP candidate, including recording his first 50-point game. Then he suffered an injury that will have him out for the next 4 to 6 weeks at minimum. What is that injury?
I was hoping you would say, then he suffered an injury. How long is he out for? Because I know 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know the injury. I can't remember it right now at the top of my head. 4 to 6 weeks tells me it's one of several things. Either sprained ankle, hamstring, or knee sprain. I'm going to say bruised hip.
You saw, I reacted too soon and you saw, no, it is a torn oblique. Which, what is an oblique? Is that in your side? Is that your side ab?
Side abs, basically.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's got to hurt so much. Do you guys think that the Magic can hold on without him no?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I mean,
All
are you confident in that?
No, I mean, he's the centerpiece of everything, like especially that defense. He's just such a large body. It takes up so much space and knows what he's doing and is so athletic and just a defensive presence. And so, yeah, there are other players in there that are long and athletic and can defend, but can they run the offense the same way? Can they, be as physical as he can be and as explosive as he can be? Not really. I mean, I don't think they have that much to concern themselves with. I mean, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe play 500 ball, they'll be okay. But when Paolo comes back, assuming he'll be all right, I mean, that team is pretty scary. If they might be the best defensive team certainly in the East, maybe in the league if they're fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be able to defend. It's the scoring. Like they can't. This is a bad offensive team when he plays.
Yeah.
You took away the one guy on the team who can like generate points at will. And it looked like the other night against Dallas where they barely scored 85 points or whatever it was because they just can't score enough. So man, 500 ball for the next 4 to 6 weeks. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I don't know how many times
they play through. That's a good point.
They got to play the Wizards like 9 times. Yeah.
Yeah, Wizards, Pistons. Although if the Pistons take the train to a game, is there a train in Orlando?
Yes, the monorail and the Bright Line.
Oh, right, the Bright Line. Yeah, I should know that. Okay, well,
the great Halloween Izzy, costume recently, the Bright Line with a bunch of bodies underneath it. It was hilarious.
Did have blood on it? Oh, that's awesome. Killer Bright Line.
Jeez.
These are Miami jokes.
Okay, Izzy. Yeah, love them. Your fourth question. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat Milwaukee and improved to 7-0 thanks to a last-second dagger by which player over the weekend?
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
So I'm messing up again. I'm not taking enough time. I'm sorry.
No. You
should have told me it's the player with like two last names or something.
Donovan? Oh, yeah. Billy Donovan Mitchell. Sorry. That is honestly something. That's one of those questions, though, where it could go either way. Like, it could be so obvious that you start second guessing. If you were playing flag football and you hadn't seen it happen. You know what I mean?
I would only second guess myself if I had Alzheimer's because I watched the highlight like a day ago.
Okay. All right. Donovan Mitchell had 30 points. He ended it with that deep 2 to lift the Cavs past the Bucks. And as of Monday morning, the Cavs are the only undefeated team in the East. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I really underestimated this team. Izzy, I said they were going to be in the play-in. Where did you have them heading into the season?
Well, I wasn't sure because I didn't know what they would look like with a new coach, right? They have the talent, they have the ability, they have the makeup. Evan Mobley is probably that guy that if, almost like just because it's a Miami thing, Bam Adebayo every year kind of improving in Miami. Feels like Evan Mobley has just so much, steps to take and has taken over the years. And it's just like he's playing great. And Donovan Mitchell, I don't know, kind of like a little pressure-free basketball, maybe just kind of playing loose. And I didn't know what they were going to look like, so I didn't really have high expectations for them. But this was better, clearly, than what I thought so far.
Did you guys talk about this? Amin said the Bam thing yesterday.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah. Look at us.
Because I said,
it's beautiful.
Like Bam, he's too courteous. Like there's a little bit of nasty you got to have in there to really ascend to that next level.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you there. I think he doesn't, and him and Jared Allen don't just scream like tough guys in the playoffs. So, they could be a regular season team, but I got to see it in the postseason. Evan
Mobley, he just sweet boy energy, I would say, whether that's true or not in real life. Like that's what he gives off on the court. Amin, your fourth question. The Miami Heat won their third game of the season on Saturday, thanks to a standout 32-point 14 rebound performance by which player?
Well, this game happened in Mexico City, right? And there was a lot of hoopla because Jaime Jaquez Jr. was playing there, even though he doesn't speak Spanish. He's just a Mexican kid who grew up in LA. But like everyone's very excited. But he actually only had 8 points in that game. The star of the game, was the guy that we just compared Evan Mobley to, is Bam Adebayo.
He needed that game too.
I needed that answer.
You needed that answer. Izzy, why do you say that?
Just didn't really get off to a great start in the season, certainly not in the home opener. It was, this offense, Miami was sort of changing their shot profile, a lot more threes and layups, not really in the mid-range. And you're just like, well, that's what Bam and Jimmy kind of operate, where they operate. So it didn't really make sense. I think like he needed a big game also to sort of start that whole momentum of, when you come back from the Olympics and you win a gold medal, you start off the season really well. Well, he hadn't done that. And so now if he strings together a couple of games, maybe he'll be, using some of that Paris momentum rather.
I mean, do you still think he's DPOY? I almost said DPOY of the year.
He's the he's defensive player of the year. He's the best defensive player in the league to me. There's a handful of other guys that I would put in that same caliber, but in terms of consistency and in terms of, again, ability to guard 1 through 5, legitimately, like there aren't too many players in the league you can say that about.
But Vic's going to win it, right? Vic is going to win it. Like, I don't think Bam is. I think Bam's time has passed for that award.
But he's not. He's not a great defensive player. He is a spectacular defensive player, but he's not great. Meaning he makes mistakes, and there are certain matchups that he can't handle. Who's that? Like, it's like Jokic. All right, who else can Bam not handle? Karl Anthony Towns the other night. All right, them two. Right, but in general, he guards fives because he's a five. He guards fours because he's the size of a four. He guards threes because he's pretty mobile. He guards twos and ones because he's smart as hell. Watching him play against the Celtics, seen him go from guarding Porzingis and then guarding Jason Tatum and then guarding Drew Holiday. You put him anywhere. I don't know how many players in the league you could say that about.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. I just think Vic is going to win it anyway. It's like he's going to get the votes. It's
crazy that people will vote for him for Defensive Player of the Year at this stage because it's.
But it's not because that's what he's said. He's flashy. He's the name everybody. No, his blocks are insane. It's that kind of like. If you want to go
no stats like Bam, right? He's not going to get the steals or the blocks or everything else. Vic can just counter that. Well, my presence alone. I don't need a stat because my presence alone will keep people from shooting from 15 and in. I'm not saying it's a great argument. I'd like to see how the Spurs team defense looks as a result of him at the end of the season. But I mean, I'm with you on Bam.
All right, Izzy, your fifth question. Steph Curry sprained his ankle last Sunday against the Clippers, but the Warriors have won 3 games in a row without him. Who's been their highest scorer while Steph's been in street clothes?
So I have checked their box scores, even though I haven't watched the games, because I don't like watching Steph Curry-less Warriors games. It's either one of two people to me. I've seen Buddy Hield have big numbers, and I've seen, well, I don't know if I saw the big numbers, but I saw a whole story by Kendra Andrews on ESPN about Andrew Wiggins. And so it's got to be one of those two to me. I'm just going to go by what I remember seeing on the box score and say Buddy Hield.
Nice. Buddy's shooting 52% from 3 on over 9 attempts per game. So he's averaging 25.3 points per game without Curry on the floor. The Warriors are 5-1. Is their hot start sustainable, or are they going to cool off, or is it dependent on how long Steph is out for, Izzy?
No, if I believe the whole Steve Kerr, this is the deepest team I've ever coached. I don't know if I'd like to get to maybe mid-season before we assess whether Steph is still in his prime. I do think that they have enough talent. And there isn't really a standout. I mean, you could argue OKC right now, but not a scary standout I don't think the Warriors are scared of any team that Rudy Gobert's on. I don't think the Warriors are scared of OKC. And so I think they have faith to remain faithful that they can win a championship in Golden State.
Rudy
Gobert is probably scared of them, though.
I'm not scared of anything. What are you talking about? No, I would say, just to add on to what Izzy said, I think seeing the team play well without Steph Curry has to be a massive boost to everybody. Everyone's got to feel a lot better now. It's like, oh, okay, we have an actual team as opposed to what has been the last couple of years, which is Steph, save us.
Right. Okay, I mean, we're going to end on your fifth question here real quick. Which rookie big man recorded his first career double-double against the Sixers on Saturday? I have a hint for you if you need it.
I don't need the hint. I know what this is. He played against the Sixers, who were awful, and they were blowing him out, and it wasn't much. But yeah, Zach Edey. Zach Edey had a double-double. Congratulations.
Yeah, you knew we had to end on that, Izzy. Come on.
We kind of have to end on it, but can I shift the conversation a little bit from Zach Edey, who, listen, time will tell. We're on the right side of history here. I mean, we're good. Cade Cunningham, your thoughts? I think he's just okay.
I think he's a talent who's been a looter and a riot for the beginning of his career. Yeah, and so I wonder where he goes once he gets to be in a competitive situation.
Same. No need to talk about that anymore. We're on the same page there. I hate when people show me the box score and say, oh, Cade's great. You didn't watch the game.
I love this mind meld. Izzy, thank you so much for being a part of Trivia Tuesday. You won Please come back soon.
I'm under 500.
And that's it for Oddball.